What is up? What's up, y'all? Feeling a little bit better. A little bit. Going through some stuff, but I just want to say I love you guys. Really do. And of course, as soon as I stream. But no. So as of right now, good news. So I had some issues with the stream. We always got issues with the stream because we're figuring stuff out. Things are changing, evolving. I found out that Discord is a huge data muncher, and it's been specifically taking resources away from GPU. Now, I think I might have solved it. Actually, I'm going to try to open Discord now. Basically, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know it's a setting, and I usually have it on, but it's hardware acceleration. And what that basically does, from my understanding, is when that's on, it uses, for any program, whatever program it's on, it uses the GPU. And so I usually have that on for everything. But I guess from gaming, Discord, streaming, having everything, having hardware acceleration, it was really taking its toll on the GPU. So it was making my streams disconnect. So not only did I set OBS to have high priority in Task Manager, but I shut hardware acceleration off in Discord. Now, since doing that, I still just kept Discord off while streaming, and I've had no issues. So I'm just doing for the hell of it, just try to run Discord and see what happens. Because eventually I'm going to have to figure out how to run Discord to some level, because some communication that I do with people, yeah, especially playing certain games, is on Discord. So let's see what we got. Let's hope and pray that everything doesn't. It's crazy how, like, when I had that open and I was streaming, all of a sudden, like, literally all my connections just go offline. Now they come back online without doing anything to Discord, but Discord really It really takes a chunk out of that data. All right, so here we go. Let's see what we got. Now, mind you, everything might shut off, but let's see. It shouldn't, because I did, but never know. You know, there's people with much weaker systems than me that run Discord all the time and don't have this issue in the stream. So, okay. So far so good. It might have been just the hardware acceleration. That might have been it. But hey, you know, we'll roll with that. That might have been it. I mean, I know there's sometimes where there's one setting in one program that can bring a program or bring a, bring your system down to its knees. So let's see what we have. So I played Miles Morales. Now, these last 6 months, 7 months, I actually, every stream that I've done, 99.9% of it, I'm just talking anyways, just because I'm so excited to be on stream and get to talk to people. But the few times that I have played, I've only really played just to kind of get a feel for, gaming and talking. I haven't really, dived deep into a game in a long time. I'm hoping to change that. But here we are. We got lights on. I ate. I took a shower. I'm feeling good. I'm excited. I go back to work soon. But, as much as I like work, whenever I have time off, and I mentioned this before, I'm starting to really see what I love so much about gaming. And I just love it, man. I just enjoy doing it so much. I just want to get to a point where I feel better about myself, more confidence, happier, and that's what I hope to gain. And again, if there's anybody trailing in or hanging on by a thread, lurking, however you want to word it, let me know, because I got something for you. I got something for you for being there. I think the people who are with you when there's nobody, even if they're lurking, they don't even have to be in the stream all the time. But just the simple fact that you could do 1,000,001 things, and you're gonna have my stream open and lurk, even you may be the only viewer, I'm gonna reward that. But that's this person, Ryan Yeho, bot or not, spam or not, if they were to say something to me that showed that they were a real person, I would probably do something for them. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care if they're scamming folks. Well, I do care about that, but I would never know that unless they admitted that and showed proof of that. But even though, no matter how annoying they are being, no matter what they are doing, as long as they're not, financially hurting people or anything like that, I'd help them. I don't care if they tell me, hey, this is our only time here. I'd hook them up. Now, if they're not a gamer, they don't want anything, that's something different. I'm not going to shove money down their throat. But, if they have a quick conversation with me, even saying, hey, give me some free stuff, I'd be like, okay. I would be so shocked at that response that I would have to, because I'd just be like, wow. But, I'm getting a little bit better. I got so much more room for improvement. I've always defaulted to Call of the Wild, but as much as I like that game, I don't love it. I play that game because it's like a safe bet, just because I don't gotta really relearn anything, but I don't want to play that. There's so much other things I want to play. I really enjoyed Miles Morales. Now, while I want to jump into that, my goal has always been to kind of dive into stuff where I have 2 or 3 games that I like to play. Um, so we got like Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Okay, that's good. That's a safe bet. That's a one-player, whatever. But what about some of these other games where the big thing is learning those keybinds, learning those controls? That is the number one obstacle for me in these games. And it's crazy because while I want to play some of these games, I just want to I feel like Dead Space. I kind of want to play that. Days Gone. Let's see. Oh, we start some Red Dead Redemption 2. Such a big game, though. See, this is where I get stuck. It's like, hey, what's up, Murto? Yeah, you say that. How have you been? Happy Thanksgiving. Haven't talked to you in a while. There's a trade-off to having this game collection. And I'm going to tell you, the trade-off is I work a lot. Now, crazy enough, ironically enough, I say that, but I'm on vacation. Well, I only work weekends, so I took Saturday and Sunday off. But I had Monday through Thursday off, and we had Friday off. But normally I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But I mean, it's nice. But there's always trade-offs to that. But how was your Thanksgiving? Have you been talking to See, it's been so long since I was consistently streaming that I'm drawing a blank. Who? And he's one of my biggest supporters. And I can't remember his name. Who is it? You and him talk all the time. He'd come into my stream. You guys were awesome. It's been so long. I'm just drawing a blank. I know. Siphon, that's it. I was just drawing. It was brain fart. Don't tell him, please. I'm gonna delete the stream and don't tell him. No. So tell me how you been. Like, what have you been up to? Like, what have you been doing? The safe for work version of events. When I turn the light off, then you can do the not safe for work. But since the light's on, we do the safe for work. Light off, not safe for work. Dyphon has been your ass buddy. I get it. I already knew that. But it's pretty good. So what about the safer work version of events? I'm just kidding. Bad joke. What so you've been school? What are you studying? You never told me what you're studying. I think you probably did at one point. Well, let me she's sleeping. She's been sleeping. She when I'm on vacation, she sleeps, wakes up, sleeps. I'll show you. Dory wakes up, I'll show her to you. I can tell when I'm on vacation and I don't go to work. She loves it. Like, she really does. I can tell she loves it when I'm home. So, sorry, I'm just trying to. I've had a lot. I've been dealing with the same stuff, but things have been kind of up and down. I've been moving. Just to sum up everything without giving you a long explanation that's boring and you're probably not interested in. I've been moving in the direction of feeling better, but there have been a lot of obstacles and a lot of things in my way. And I've been moving forward and trying to get past a lot of things, but I got a long way to go. But I just want you to know that not much has changed. And I don't mean that in a bad way or even a really good way. I just being upfront and honest with you because you've been around for so long. I feel like I could try to sell you a dream saying, well, things are great over here. I'm doing all this stuff. But I don't want to do that because as much as it's nice to come to a stream and feel positive vibes, I also want to give honest vibes. And I truly care what you think and how you think and what you think of me. And I know people say, well, you shouldn't give a shit what people think about you. But, me personally, I think the people that care about you and you care about, I think it's okay to have thoughts about what they think about you. Because they help kind of push you in the right direction. The people that you don't care about are the random people that come in and whatever talk shit or the people that you don't have any history with or any relationship with. It's still good to be honest, but I think the people like you who've been around for a while and that is just such a good person to be around. It's so supportive. I just want you to know what's really going on. And I know this is a far, far stretch. And this is going to sound kind of crazy. But if you would be okay with it, hopefully at one point, I'm not saying it even in the next year. I'm not even saying then. Maybe in the next 2 years, 3 years. I don't know if you would be comfortable with it. But I would love to come and visit. Not just you, just travel, but if I had the opportunity, be able to meet you in person. I don't know if, I would definitely... I thought about that. I was like, well, it wouldn't be like something where I just come and just meet you in person. That would be the only reason. I'd have a little vacation, get away from everything. But I think, hey, that'd be kind of cool. Probably not. Well, maybe not on a permanent basis. But I've always, I would have to... I mentioned this. This wouldn't happen. Unless something crazy happened, it wouldn't happen until earliest mid-20s, 27. At the earliest. Just because I'm not. It's been so long since I've been on a trip because I feel so comfortable being at home in my routine that I just don't. I don't know. And I've been dealing with my ex-girlfriend's been kind of really adding stress to my life, and she keeps calling and texting me. And so it wouldn't be for a while, but I just want to give it to me straight. Straight. Would you feel comfortable meeting me in person with everything you know about me? And if you say absolutely not, you're creepy, I will live with that. I will not even hate on you for that. Not for a second. Even if you said, you're a nice guy on the internet from a distance, but in person, no. If you said that, I would not think different of you. Like I wouldn't. I wouldn't think like, I mean, I'm not saying you would, but some people would think the element of living so far away and meeting somebody for some reason that's different than say if I lived an hour away or 20 minutes away. People think like that, you know. I just think it would be cool because it would kind of, how do I want to say it? Like I'm a very, I think I mentioned this. I love social media because it allows me to interact with people and still stay in my safe space, still have my own area that I feel comfortable in, and still, I love that. Text messages, I love that. And I know people always say, oh, get off the phone, touch grass. You know, and while all that stuff is good, I do feel like that, you know, my problems and my issues, it's way beyond taking my vitamins and going outside and going for walks, stuff I struggle with. And one of the things I struggle with is I struggle with being neurodivergent. I struggle with just, I'm not real good in social situations. I still put myself down at times. I'm not confident. That doesn't mean that I'm not, I do everything myself. So it's not like I'm inept and I can't do anything. But I just like my own space. However, with that being said, there are times with the people or in situations that matter to me that I've told myself I would force myself to kind of go outside my comfort zone. And I don't know. It's why, like, people have asked me this at work, like, man, why are you still single, man? You don't have any kids. You're you got a good job. You like to work. You got a degree. You do all these different things. I got a bachelor's degree. You do all these things. And I tell people one of the reasons is my depression and my bipolar, but another reason is I don't really put myself out there as much as I used to. And did I tell you about the time somebody was in my community and they it's kind of hard to admit, but they were in my community and they seen how I was starting to really struggle with mental health and things, and I was kind of how I always been, but I was just starting to really be open about it. And I don't know if they were friends with me on Facebook, but it was when I was streaming, and I know you've seen it at times, and it's embarrassing to admit, but I'm gonna, I'll say it because it's the way it is. But when I'm on stream and I put myself down saying I'm a loser, saying I'm a failure, saying these things, and I truly mean it, saying I don't want to live, these are things that I don't say for attention. I feel these things. And this person was very respectful about it, but they came to me and they said, hey Tony, and I think it was a girl too. He said, I love your streams and everything, but I can no longer be in your community and come to your streams because I just don't want to be around that negativity. And at first I was kind of shocked, but then I thought about it and I thought, you know what? That I can only respect somebody for that. As much as it stings and hurts. And you know me, I don't make any money from streaming, not even close. So the hurt for me was just that, dang, my issues are actually affecting others in ways that I never thought it would. And they said, yeah, I just couldn't come. I can't, I don't know if they used the words. I can't remember. I don't want to, or I just can't. But after thinking about it that night, I remember I think I cried myself to sleep because it was hard, because that was the first time I met somebody that essentially, and again, I'm not mad at this person, but they turned me away for something that wasn't in my control. And that hurt. And sorry, I took off my glasses, not because I was gonna cry. I'm gonna put some water on my face, try to wake up. Had an energy drink, and right now I'm just kind of like, I think my anxiety is getting a little higher, and so it's kind of draining my energy, but at the same time I got a lot of energy, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, enough of that explaining. So what else have you been doing besides school? If you don't, again, if I'm talking about anything that's not like the most comfortable for you, just let me know. But I don't know if you've ever told me, like, and again, like I said, anything you don't want to talk about, but have you told me about any of your family, like what family you're close with, or like, is there any family or friends or things you do outside of work and well, not work, but school and game? Ooh, concerts. Now, are you pretty close with your family? Or are you kind of like, do you have a big family? And are you close with them, or is it kind of like you're only close with certain people? Your family. What I think I know Zyphon, he told me he's Mexican. What nationality are you? Are you the same? Are you Hispanic? I don't know why I think that. Oh, you guys are. See, for the long, I think now I remember. See, it's been so long since, again, we talked about that and I was streaming, but I think you might remember this. At first, I thought you guys were friends and you met on my stream or through my community. But now I remember you told me at one point, you did tell me that you were cousins. It was a while ago, but now I remember that. Did you did did one of you introduce the other? Like, he was in one of my streams and you told him you were watching a stream of this random guy, which was me, and then you came in. Is that kind of how it was, or did you guys just randomly run into each other in my stream? I'm assuming it's a former. One of you were watching me and the other was doing nothing, and you guys said, hey, I'm watching this guy. Yeah, I remember it now. That's right. Okay. So you both, are you um are now, again, I'm not meaning to be, don't take offense to it. Are you 100% I say Mexican. Would it be safe to say Hispanic too? Or is that totally different? Like, if you say you're fully Mexican, but I say, are you 100% Hispanic? Is that the same thing, or is that different? That's the same. Okay. So are you full Hispanic? I don't know why I find this interesting. I find it just interesting because I love not just learning about people, but I love learning about people that I've known for a while. And I'm not just gonna sit here and throw a bunch of questions at you. I'm gonna put some water on my face and talk, and then I'm gonna play, and we can hang out for a few if you're cool with that. I know it's Sunday, so you probably got university tomorrow, but yeah, I'll be right back. But yeah, you're that I knew it was something like that, but sometimes people take offense if you say something wrong. there's a girl I work with, and she is so you might be able to help me with this. She's from Venezuela. Now you would never know she's Venezuela. She looks just Hispanic, but her and her parents are from, I think, not Puerto Rico, Venezuela. Would it be safe to say that she's Hispanic too? Or is that not exactly the same? Be right back. Sometimes when I'm just hanging out, I get this like wave of depression, or not depression, but it's just like this wave of like, not tiredness, that doesn't sound right, but like fatigue almost. And it just kind of drains me. And sometimes it's a long-term thing, sometimes it just kind of hits me and it goes away. Ah, okay, that's good to know, because where I work at a warehouse, I work at there's a lot of people who speak Spanish, and there's a good deal of those people that don't speak really good English, and you get the I promise you I'm not doing drugs. No, I'm just kind of stuffy slash change of weather, tired. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot of people that I work with that speak Spanish. A lot of them don't speak good English, and I think most of them are under the Hispanic umbrella, and that makes sense. That it's actually something that I can take with me in knowledge, because there's that, and then there's some people that are getting nervous a little bit. I don't know if you ever heard of the nationality, but it's Creole people. But I think that's I want to say that's a country or a nation, but they're African American. But we had, like, I don't know, I think they had about 20 people who were of that country or nation, and over half really didn't speak hardly any English. And now that I think about it, I think it's like it's a offshoot of French. Now that I think about it, because they got their own language, and that was actually really cool. I never knew anything about it until I worked there. And what's crazy is when Trump did the whole, I don't follow politics at all, but obviously, you would have to be under a rock to know that, some people are getting deported who aren't citizens. And there were some people who, they were here legally, but they had, I guess, their green card expired, so on and so, something like that. And there were some other scenarios, but came into work one week, start of a new week, and it wasn't a ton of people, but like 10 or 15 people no longer work there. And it was just crazy. But that's how I got introduced. Prior to that, that's how I got introduced to that. My boss is English European, you know, she's white. She's the head of sanitation. She actually speaks Creole. And so when they would come in for an interview, you know, they'd fill out an application, but some of them don't speak hardly any English, if any. And they only understand basic words. So whenever they came in for an interview, she would have to, she normally doesn't do interviews. She would have to interview them. But yeah, in terms of Hispanics, it's probably easily close to 50-50 where I work. And I'm Central Florida. I'm not exactly Miami, but kind of a little tired. But I'm gonna try to play something. My mind right now, like my mind is just like, you know, you've been busy with university. I've been just my anxiety and stuff really. I normally don't take time off, but I took some time off, and because I only work weekends, I only have to take Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Well, we had Friday off, so I worked last Sunday, not today, last Sunday, and I had Monday through Thursday off. Normal. We had Friday off. The whole warehouse did, and I took Saturday and Sunday off, and so I don't have to go back to work till Friday. Now, I know I mentioned it before, but like overtime, I worked a lot of overtime. So it's kind of cool too, my situation where normally we'd have to sign up for overtime. I don't sign up because if you sign up and you don't show up, it can cost you. But the kicker is, and I hope nobody from my work is watching now because this is not really the way to do things, but the kicker is you don't sign up on the list and you just show up. Now, one of two things is going to happen. One is they're going to be glad you showed up, put your name on the list and work. Two, you could be one of those unfortunate people where they say you're not on the list and send you home. Now, you don't get in trouble, you just don't get a chance to work. Now, you say, well, why don't you just sign up? Well, let me tell you what the thing with signing up is. There's nothing wrong with signing up. The downside is when you sign up and you don't show up. Does that make sense? So if you sign up on you sign up, you say you're going to show up, and because it's overtime, you're not it's not your scheduled shift, but you're saying you'll show up. So you'll be on a list, and when you come in, you'll go somewhere, and then after the startup meeting, they'll have a place for you. They'll say, you go to this department, stay here. But somebody will have you on a list. And during their meeting, the supervisor's meeting, after we start work, they start work at 5:30 in the evening. They have their meeting around 6:30 after everybody starts working. They're going to say, hey, we have this person, this person, this person. And I've never been to one of their meetings, but at some point, and I just want to say this, like, just talking to you, I feel a lot better. I don't know why, but I just do. I'm tired. I might put some more water on my face, but I just want to let you know that I feel, it's weird. It's like I'm tired, but I never talk to people like this, and I just want you to know that I feel great. Like, it feels good just talking to you. And I want, without sounding weird, it's not because it's necessarily you, though I do like talking to you, but I think it's more so like talking to somebody that I know. Because I don't talk to people at all. Like, the thing is this, and I know if I'm going off on a tangent that you don't like, please tell me, Tony, shut up and do something. And I'm ready to plan. But I just want you to know, like, I don't talk to people hardly at all. I told somebody this, and this is the $1 million question. When I talk to people, when I engage with people at work, walking, going for a walk at the store, well, let me put some more water on my face. I don't want to say it, but I want to tell you this because you might be able to give me some insight, because this is the $1 million question, the $1 million mystery that I can't figure out. And I think I have the answer, but I believe the answer is not something that I can just, okay, here's the answer, do this, and it'll work. So I'll be right back. But I want to share it with you. You might be able to shed some light on it. One thing I've come to, one thing I will say too, I mentioned to you, I enjoy talking to you. I know this is, I don't want to say it. Like, I think it's part of my, like, my, my mental dilemma, if you will, my mental health. I struggle with anxiety and depression, and I'm autistic and bipolar. It sounds really crazy, but obviously it's not the extreme of any of those, but it's something I struggle with. But how I just mentioned to you how I feel good talking to you, I think that's part of my say part of my bipolar. I hate saying it like that, but part of my highs that I go through. It's not a bad thing, but how I told you, like 10 minutes ago, how I felt kind of tired, kind of down, whatever. And I mean, I said like whatever, 4 or 5 sentences to you, and I said, I started to feel really good. And I think there's a positive to that because obviously I feel better, but I think it's the downside to that is it's it's like a spurt. It's like a jolt. It's nice to feel better, but you feel better all of a sudden, and as fast as you feel better, you can just go back to being down, and that's not really a good way to have consistency. You're down, you feel good. You're down, you feel good, and so. But the $1 million question I wanted to propose to you. So I mentioned to you I like talking to people and I like engaging with people, and not just randomly talking to people, but whenever I'm in a conversation with somebody, talking to people, I really enjoy it. I truly do. People have asked me this, and I don't know the answer to this. They'll say, well, if that's the case, why don't you put yourself in more situations for that? Because, like I mentioned earlier, I like to be in my own little space. I like doing my own thing. Gaming. I like being around people and talking to people, but the ultimate, my best scenario is being around people, but doing my own thing. Not having to be in a group, not having to ask the group what they want to do. I'm not saying talking to people is something I don't like, but I just kind of like moving to the beat of my own, drum, kind of going at my pace. And if talking to people makes me feel better, how come I don't seek that out more often? And I've come to a couple of conclusions, and one of them is just that obviously it has to be natural. If I'm just talking to somebody just to talk, I don't care what it's about, it's not going to feel right. And this is going to sound crazy, but most people, say you have a friend, girlfriend, guy friend, whoever it is, they say, hey, we're going to go to LA, or we're going to go to, wait, that's a bad way, but say we're going to go to San Diego, or we're going to go to Salt Lake City. You don't have to pay, free trip, not crazy luxurious, but like, you got a hotel, just hang out, you pay for food. Basically, it's a nice trip, little money on your part, and essentially as close as you can get to free fun. You know, maybe spend a little bit of money, but definitely something that 99.9% of people would be like, yeah, I'll do that. Me, when I was dating my girlfriend, she would say, hey, let's go to Orlando. Let's do things. Well, I didn't want to do things. Um, and obviously that's something that was my mental health, the reason. And I hate blaming that on everything, but that had to be the reason, because I can't think of any reasonable person, if you're not doing anything all weekend and you're with somebody, dating or not, and they ask you, hey, go on a free trip, don't you think 99.9% of people would say, yeah, I'll do that? I'm not doing anything. Why not? It has to be more fun than just sitting at home. Even though my home is nice and there's a lot of stuff to do. But the point is I just would like to be at home. And that goes back to what I said about just talking to people. I just kind of like my routine and being in the comforts of my surroundings. And it has prevented me from going back home at times. I mean, I still get in touch with my family, but, you know, going home's not that big of a difference in talking, you know, on FaceTime or anything. So it's not like there's a lot missing out, but, you know, it would be nice to see them, but it's not like I'm dreading it. You know, I'm not dreading it. I would like to do it, but if I don't do it, I don't feel like I'm missing out, if that makes sense. You know, because everything that we could accomplish in person, in terms of building our relationship, we can accomplish over the phone. And like I said, obviously it's always better in person, yes. But I'm saying, aside from that part, you know, you can still improve a lot of things, and a lot of things can still be done through talking, FaceTime, on the phone. You know, you don't have to be with somebody physically to. And again, I know it's usually better, you know, give someone a physical hug. I say a physical hug, but give somebody a hug, a kiss on the cheek, you know. But that just gives you an idea on kind of. I'm sure you probably already figured that out about me, but I got to get better too when I'm explaining something. I don't tend to read comments, but I did see your comment, but I wanted to finish before I read your comment. Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, who the person who asked you, was it like a really good friend, a great friend, a good friend, a family member? Is it somebody that you've been away? Is it somebody that you've done stuff with before? Like, you know, because that also would kind of matter. You know, if it's somebody that you never went away with, that's always a, you know, the first time sort of deal is. Oh, wow. So, okay. And I'm guessing that is a girl, right? So, you and her, but I know exactly what you're thinking, how you felt. Well, I don't want to say exactly how you felt, but I have a pretty good idea. You know, you wanted to go. Oh, okay. Like, you wanted to go, but at the same time, you wanted to be at home. Now, and again, you're like only like the third person I've ever talked about this stuff with, and you're probably only the second person that's ever been able to relate to anything that I'm talking about. Just so you know, so it's even more exciting to actually talk to somebody about this, because it's new territory. I never even. Most people I talk to about this, they're very respectful about it, but they don't really understand it because they never experienced it or don't experience it. But um, are you the type that you like when you like to stay at home? So when you decided not to, is one of the reasons because you just prefer your routine? Like, it wasn't a money thing, you just prefer, like, you know, your You know, whether it be food routine like me, it's like, you know, I got my food here, I got my gaming system here, I got all my clothes here. It sounds silly, but everything's here, and it's so much easier. You know, if I'm going through something, if I'm stressed out, it's so much easier dealing with all that here. Even little things, you know. Not saying I'm not gonna go on a trip ever because I might get stressed out. No, but just everything's here. You know, if I want to go get something to eat, it's a lot easier to do that than if I go on a trip. You know, if I want to de-stress by playing a video game or watching something on TV, I can do that here. All those things play a part for me. You know, and it's mainly the routine thing. Like, I just love being around familiar stuff. That's I'm not kidding you. When I put myself down, a lot of times I tell myself like I don't deserve something. When I was this is really embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. I was talking to somebody, and I can't remember exactly what, but I said I didn't deserve something. I was put myself down. I said I'm a loser, failure. I hate myself. This is what I was telling myself, and I was telling them that. And you know, these people, if they don't know me, if a lot of them don't, they're caught off guard. They're like, "What the fuck?" You know, like, "What's going on, man?" And I think it was somebody helping me with a video game, helped me with get back into Escape from Tarkov. And this person was willing to help me, take time out of their day to help me out. And one of the things I said is I didn't deserve it. And I just kind of threw that in there with put myself down. And I can't remember exactly why I did that. And obviously it's not the exact same situation as yours, but it was similar in that I was, you know, discrediting myself, and I guess something got triggered in me where I just was putting myself down, and one of those things came up. I just felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt like that was getting my point across to the person that, you know, I was just feeling really low, and I wasn't asking for help. It wasn't like a cry for help. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was just trying to, you know, initially I did want them to help me, but I don't know, it's almost like I can't figure it out, but something happens in my mind where I just decide that maybe I don't deserve it. And so I know what that feeling is like. But no, I appreciate you sharing that. I really do. All right, I'm gonna try to play something and we can chat, and then, but I'm feeling tired, but part of me is excited. So that's another thing that I fall into. So like working a lot or not working, or like now I'm tired, but I'm excited to be online. So it's really weird. It's like my mind is tired and worn out, but my mind right now is also excited to be online. So I'm gonna try to put some water on my face. I don't know why I keep closing my eyes. I know I'm not tired because I'm not working. And sometimes I can just go from like being tired to being being tired, you know. Like yesterday I drank an energy drink, or 2 nights ago I drank an energy drink at like 1 in the morning and went to bed at 3. No problem. You know. So see the response. It's almost like with me, I get oh, it's almost like I get when I like even when I stream, even back in the day, I say back in the day, but even earlier when I would be streaming a year and a half ago, a lot of my energy wouldn't be from necessarily being like um being like say awake, but my energy a lot of times come from what when I'm looking ahead. So like when I start a stream, I get maybe excited, not necessarily for that time right there, but for what's possibly ahead. When I start streaming at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I think to myself, I may be a little tired, but a lot of times my energy comes from, hey, the next 2 hours are going to be fun. So I get excited. So that's kind of like, I don't know why, like all of a sudden I'm so tired now. Um, but I see you responded, so I want to read that. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I didn't know that about you. Oh yeah, that's when I went to college. Um, when I went to college, like I was lucky. My family helped me, but there were certain instances where, you know, if I wanted to be able to do certain things, that meant, and I was lucky at the time I wasn't working. And at the time, I don't think you can now, but at the time you was able to get food stamps. So like now it's changed so much, but at the time, if you weren't working, you automatically got the full amount of food stamps. Even if you were in college, you still got the full amount of food stamps. So it was nice as long as your parents weren't claiming you on taxes and you weren't working a job, despite you getting loans and grants or whatever, you could get food stamps. Now, you know, my family would have let me starve, but, you know, that allowed me to get certain, you know, um, yeah, what do I want to say? Enhance my diet or be able to like eat more than ramen noodles and stuff all the time because then I was able to like I wanted to do other things other than just study, play video games, and eat. I wanted to go out, and to go out, I needed to like either conserve at the grocery store or do other stuff. And so I was able to, you know, at the time I would spend all my food stamps on junk food. So while I liked doing that, I was still hungry. So I would still, when the money I had, I would buy, you know, ramen noodles and stuff, so then I could still go out and drink and party. And I can resonate and I can relate to you when it comes to like not having a ton of money. Now it sounds crazy because my grandma spoiled the shit out of me, and I actually had one of the things that I had a stand-up arcade um, in my apartment that eventually I ended up giving away to a church, and I think they ended up selling it. Um, it was weird because I had this. It was a used arcade cabinet. It was NBA Showtime, NBA Blitz, basketball and football game. It was a stand-up one. And I remember when it got delivered. And it's crazy because I had this. It was used, but it was pretty nice. Crazy because I had this huge stand-up arcade, but I lived in these shitty ass apartments. People say, well, why'd you live there? Well, same reason why I got the food stamps. Did I need to live there? No. But living there meant that I had extra money to spend on other things, you know? And so that was my thought process with all that. Is like, hey, you know, you might have heard the term trap house. That would kind of be similar to what I was doing. Though I wasn't doing the drug dealing. But you look at me and be like, man, he lived in a trap house, you know. He's wearing Abercrombie and Fitch clothes. He's, you know, his cupboards are full of food. But he's renting a room in a dump. You know, I mean, it wasn't a dump, but it definitely wasn't one of your nicer student living apartments. You know, just thinking about it, wow, brought back memories. But yeah. So let me see if I can try to play something. If not, I'm probably just gonna, cause I'm kind of closing my eyes here, and I don't know why, because I'm excited to be here, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna use here. Here's what I'm gonna do, if you don't mind. I'm gonna try one more time, and if not, I'm just gonna end the stream. I love this stream. I'm having a blast, but for some reason, I'm just like, keep close my eyes. But I'm gonna try to use the restroom because that might, you know, maybe that might help me wake up. And I'll be right back, and we'll play a little bit, and then we'll call it a session. You know, I don't plan on playing long, anyways. But I might just end it if I go to the bathroom real quick, and I just can't, because it's like, it's not like I'm tired. I think I'm just wore out because I purposely did wake up early today, but I didn't do shit. But I did wake up early. I woke up at like 12, which is kind of early. All things considered, when you go to bed at 7 in the morning. So, yeah, but just give me 1 second, and yeah, we'll play something. Unless I'm god tired, but yeah. And my newest game. So I bought the Miles Morales Spider-Man. It was on sale. Aside from that, I haven't bought anything. I don't, when there's a Steam sale or some sale, I don't automatically buy stuff. I'm not that type of person. Like, if there's a game I really want, but there's really not games I really want. It's, oh, I like that game, it's on sale, great. And then the very few games, oh, I want to get that game at launch because I really want it. I don't know why I do that with Call of Duty. I do it because I hope that I can get into it and enough people play it that it can help kind of get me back into gaming. But it's crazy because I play it and I bought it and I haven't even played it yet. But mind you, again, I'm on vacation. Prior to this vacation, I worked 5 in the morning until 5:30 at night in the evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I worked second shift Monday, Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday are usually my only days to do anything. That's true, and I like that. I actually like that. And you know, I like those streams where we just talk. I think if I was somebody who streamed every day and did that, let's be real, I probably couldn't do that. But I think because I stream so infrequent, it makes for just chat and stream. It makes it really fun. And because I don't go out and do stuff, it makes it even double the fun. So it's like, hey, it's just nice to talk. You know, but I will almost guarantee you, if I was somebody who streamed every day, I probably couldn't, almost definitely couldn't have just chatting stream. Or if I was somebody who like always went out and talked to people and hung out with people, and then when I fire up my PC and start streaming, I'm like, man, I want to play. You know, I don't get a chance to play. I've been talking to people all the time. Well, I don't do any of those things. So it's like, what you just said is actually what I like to do. What I really like to do. Like, you put the words in my mouth. Because I just like that, because it just feels, it's just so new. one of the things that bring me energy when I stream is the euphoria I get from streaming. Just based on what I just said, I don't do it that often. Now the stream part, okay, but the talking to people, I don't want to say it's weird, but it's different because it's like, well, you don't talk to people that much, not really. Um, I still fall into the trap where I don't know if you get like this. I'm gonna put some water in my face real quick, but where somebody calls you and you don't feel like talking and you ignore the phone call and send them a text. I know you probably hate those people. That's usually me sometimes. And I have to come up for a reason for not answering the phone because I feel bad saying I just don't want to talk. Because I know people hate those type of people. I'm on my way, Marco. Feels a little bit better. I don't think I. This gives me an opportunity to do something to make it a little more interesting. Um, all right. Oh, let let me know when the ad. Oh, okay. So I got this. I don't know if you've seen this. And I read what you wrote. Yeah. The only problem I have with doing that, and I'm not blaming anybody for doing it because I do it all the time, is I worry that I do it with something like I worry that I do it with something that someone's trying to call me that I can't exactly call back. I've done that at times where I haven't answered and to get them to call back because it's somebody I have to talk to for whatever reason. Like usually like business related. And it's a pain in the ass going through the loops to get back with them. And I have to call and say, hey, I missed this call from so and so. Then I kind of knock myself on the head because it's like, damn, I've been trying so hard to get a hold of that person. And so, but that part I regret because it's like, damn, I would have just answered. I could have figured it out. You know what I'm saying? But now I got to call back, figure out what extension they were. Say I missed a call, wait for their call back, which probably be another day or 2 or 3. And it's like, if I would have just answered, I wouldn't have to do all that extra talking. So I kind of hit myself in the ass on that one. So Oreo, right now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's like I feel good, but I'm just like, I don't know how to say it. It's like I'm just, like I like talking. I'm just, I'm gonna take my medicine. I'm just like, I don't know the best way to describe myself. I'm gonna try this. If it doesn't work, I don't know. I don't want you to be mad at me, but maybe we can plan another time to where we can talk again. Um, because I really love this, like just talking. You're really easy to talk to. Um, and I mean that in a really friendly way, but I just want you to know that maybe, not saying we got to plan a date, but I would love to do this again. Um, it's just nice to just talk with somebody because I don't get that, and somebody who kind of understands me a little bit, even if it's just a little bit. It's so much different than like sometimes it's nice to talk to a random person because you don't give a shit what they think about you. But sometimes it's nice to talk about somebody who understands you because you don't have to explain so much. I don't know how much you remember of me, if any. I'm sure you remember some stuff. Um, and I'm sure there's certain things that you just probably don't remember or don't want to. Um, that's true. One thing I liked about the live streaming, it's I look at this as like just like texting, except doing speech to text. And I like that. It's like it's not exactly talking on the phone. It's a lot, and obviously it's a lot easier to express yourself through a text or even through like a stream, like a faceless screencast. That's what I would call this in a way. I mean, you can see me, but in terms of being face to face, it's faceless. I say screenless. I mean a faceless screencast. And so I look at like the live stream as one step above texting. It's not exactly talking face to face. It's not exactly talking on the phone with somebody. but it's a step up from just texting. And I think that's why I love live streams so much. The game element I love. It just so happens that I love games, so it just kind of like that is the me. I believe that I truly believe that is the reason why I love the live stream. Because I will say this: I did not when I started to live stream. I was streaming on Xbox. I think what was it? Red Dead Redemption 2, um, Division 2. Was I playing something before that? But when I initially got when I initially jumped into streaming, it wasn't because I wanted to make money through streams or live streams. It's not because I wanted to just game and showcase my skills, because we know I don't have any skills while I'm gaming. It was I wanted to talk to people, and I just so happened to thought to myself, well, I can talk to people, but you know, and this is around the same time, and actually it was the same time, not around. It was the same time when I stopped drinking, I stopped partying, and I realized that I had some really tough issues that I had to deal with, and that the ones I currently deal with. Well, not exactly, because at the time I didn't know what it was, but I knew I had some issues, and I thought, well, why don't I stream? I can talk to people, and I'll game because that's what I love to do. But then, this is what I literally thought. I told myself, I can actually, not only can I talk to people, but I can spread awareness for mental health. And so here we are. So that's kind of how I got to be where I'm at right now. Because I've never the gaming is crazy. It's crazy how it all begins, and I guess everybody's story is different, and everybody's story is quote unquote crazy. But yeah, like one thing I was going to say to you before I was going to the bathroom is that it's like I feel good, but with me it's like when I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling down. And so it's like I don't just feel I usually feel like really down. I just don't feel like, I'm kind of feeling this way. It's like when things are bad, they're really bad, but the opposite is also true. When things are good, they're great. And the same goes for like things I like to do. Like when I'm streaming, you can probably remember this from like a year or two ago, year and a half ago. When things are going good, I'm feeling great. All my eggs are in one basket. And I don't do that on purpose. It's just my personality. I just get when I'm feeling good, it's just I get to feeling great. And I think that's the bipolar element, because when things are not going great, it's really hard to persevere and push through. Because I think to myself, I just I don't know. I just like it's like an all or nothing thinking. Um, it's like when I'm doing good, when I'm in a good mood, I'm in a great mood. When I'm in a bad mood, I don't automatically go to the worst, you know, I don't automatically feel the worst, but I just don't feel it's really hard to feel okay and just do okay. Like if I kind of feel like if I'm not feeling it, it's really hard to do anything. But if I'm feeling it and I feel good, it's very easy to do stuff. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at. Like I brought these Oreos out, but Oreo can't release some new flavors, and now I'm just kind of like I just feel overwhelmed right now because I'm thinking to myself, I don't know why, because I don't have to wake up, but I'm thinking to myself, like I have nothing to do that I have to do tomorrow other than make a couple phone calls for some refund on some Apple Pay. But outside of that, I don't have anything to do. But for some reason, it's like my mind is just it's hard to I don't know how to say it. It's just, and I'm not trying to. It's not like I'm holding back something to say. I'm trying hard to express how I feel though. It's almost like I just want to like end the stream and just watch a little TV and go to bed. It sucks because I'm having so much fun, but it's like I'm getting pulled down to just like, I mean, obviously it's never bad to go to bed early, but that's how I feel. So do you think maybe we can finish another day? And I'm telling you, I wanted to play and everything. God, I was in a good mood. Like I didn't just fire all this stuff up just for nothing. Like I wanted to play and everything. I just get so. No, and I totally get that. I don't expect. Yeah, I do. I do not hold any expectations. Because you're busy, but and definitely not gonna say, hey, no. I totally get the way school works and stuff comes up, and yeah. And I know you're West Coast, which usually works perfect because I stream later at night anyway, so when I do, but it's like I get all this set up, and I'm not saying it was a bad stream because it wasn't. It's probably one of my better streams. I liked it, but it's just the combination of feeling tired, I think it's just kind of like things are going good, things are going great, and initially it's hard to look at this stream and say, hey, this is a W, a win, but it is. I feel great about it. It's hard to look at these things and say, you know what, I feel great about it. I look at it, man, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? I went for a home run and I got a double and I feel like I lost. That's the best way to explain it. Well, maybe me getting off can be a good thing for you. Ooh, I didn't word that right. Pretend if you don't get the joke, good. I hope not. If you do, that was a bad phrase. You have a good night, Marco. And you probably had to rewind the stream. Like, what do you say? 10 seconds. You're hitting the 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 5-second delay. 5 seconds. Oh! Fast forward. Yep. Tony's being creepy. Time to go to bed. Time to do homework. What did you say? You said Dory's being creepy. Dory, you're being creepy. Marco said you're being creepy. Dory, you're being creepy. Dory, why are you being creepy? Dory, stop being creepy. She put her head up. She's like, I ain't being creepy, I'm sleeping. You're being creepy by staring at me. I'm sorry. All right, that's it. I'm being weird. All right. Have a good night, Marco. Always love seeing you. And I'm sure I'll see you. Well, I know for sure I'll see you around. This has actually been one of my best streams. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I really did. Honest to God. Maybe I could get used to these, so then when I fire up the stream and I can just game, and I can also incorporate this type of conversation while I'm gaming. So, anyways, I'm for real. I'm just my mind's overloaded. I'm not making excuses, but I'm just love seeing you. Have a good night. Good luck with university. And yes, and you had the same name on Discord, right? Just want to be clear about that. Same name on Discord. Alrighty. All right. Until next time, take care, Marco. And anybody else lurking, being creepy, take care of yourself. And we love you. Stay strong. And thank you guys for swinging on by. God, I had a fucking blast. I loved it. For being tired, I had a blast. Wow.